This is my midterm project about Donatello. His full name is Donato di Niccolò di Beto Bardi. He's famously known as Donatello. He was a sculptor. He was born in 1386. He died December 12th, 1466. He was born in Florence, Italy, and he died in Florence, Italy. This is a sculpture of Donatello. A little bit of background information on Donatello. He was born in Florence, Italy in 1386. He apprenticed early with well-known sculptors and quickly learned the Gothic style. By the time he was nearly 20 years old, he was receiving commissions for his work. During his career, he developed a unique style that involved lifelike, highly emotional sculptures and a reputation second only to Michelangelo's. The life of young Donatello. His dad was Niccolò di Beto Bardi, a member of the Florentine wool status. This resulted in Donatello being influenced to work in the trades as he was the son of a craftsman. In 1403, he apprenticed with Florentine metalsmith and sculptor Lorenzo Ghiberti. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. A few years later, yes, him, was commissioned to create the bronze doors for the baptistry of the Florence Cathedral. Donatello helped with the creation of the bronze doors for the baptistry. Then around 1407, it was said that Donatello and Filippo became friends and traveled to Rome to study classical art. This experience was said to have given young Donatello a great understanding of ornamentation and classical forms. It is also believed that his association with likely influenced him in the Gothic style, which can be seen in much of his earlier works. The early works of Donatello. In 1408, Donatello completed the life-size marble sculpture of David. This sculpture follows the Gothic style that was popular at the time, the long, graceful lines and expressionless face. The sculpture was placed in the Palazzo Vecchio, which was the town hall for the Florentines. After this, Donatello rapidly began to develop his own style, which was more dramatic and emotional. Around 1412, he created the marble figure Saint Mark, which was placed in the exterior niche of the church. In 1415, he created the marble sculpture of a seated Saint John the Evangelist for the cathedral in Florence. These works show a shift in style, moving away from the Gothic style and going more in the direction of the classical technique. This is a picture of the statue of David. This is a picture of the statue of Saint Mark. This is Saint John the Evangelist. Donatello's unique style. Donatello was gaining a reputation for creating imposing, larger-than-life figures using innovative techniques and extraordinary skills. His style incorporated the new science of perspective, which allowed the sculptor to create figures that occupied measurable space. In 1425, Donatello, an Italian sculptor and architect, traveled Rome. During this traveling, they produced several architectural sculptural tombs, such as the Anti-Pope John and the tomb of Cardinal Donatello's greatest works. Donatello created many amazing sculptures, statues, and tombs. However, his most famous work would most likely be that of the statue of David. Standing a little over 5 feet tall, David represents an allegory of civic virtue triumphing over brutality and irrationality. The statue of, don't know how to say that word, is another famous work created by Donatello. The statue was in honor of the famous mercenary Erasmo da Nari. The statue was made of bronze and showed Erasmo riding a horse in full battle dress minus a helmet. The sculpture created some controversy as most equestrian statues were reserved for rulers or kings, not mere warriors. This is a picture of the statue. The final years of Donatello. In 1455, Donatello returned to Florence and completed the Magdalene Penitent, a statue of a gaunt-looking Mary Magdalene commissioned by the convent at Santa Maria di Castello. The work was probably intended to provide comfort and inspiration to the repentant prostitutes at the convent. Donatello continued his work, taking on commissions from wealthy patrons of the arts. His lifelong friendship with the Medici family earned him a retirement allowance to live on the rest of his life. He died of unknown causes on December 13th, 1466, in Florence, and was buried in the don't know how to say that, of San Lorenzo next to Cosimo de' Medici. An unfinished work was faithfully completed by his student, right there. This is the statue that he created. And this is where he was buried.